What's up, YouTube? Today I have the pleasure of reviewing the 2021 Ford Bronco in this beautiful rapid red. The streets haven't seen a Bronco since 1991 and Jeep hasn't really had any competition since then, but that's about to change. Special thank you to Ethan Gonzalez over at Koons Sterling Ford for giving me the opportunity to review this car today. If you're interested in buying or ordering a new Bronco, I'll have his information on screen as well as in the description down below. But with that being said, let's get into the video. There's 7 different trim levels available with the Bronco, starting at the bottom with the base that starts at $29,995, going all the way to the top with the first edition starting at a little bit over $54,000. And with that said, you can also get 2 different cabin options. You can get the 2-door or you can get the 4-door. I personally, myself, I would probably get the 4-door because there's a little more space to bring my friends and stuff around. But if you're trying to go off-road on the rocks and the trails and stuff like that, I would probably go with the 2-door just because it's a shorter wheelbase, easier to navigate the trails and stuff. But considering the price at $54,000 for the fully loaded version of this car, I definitely think it's worth it because I think this thing rides leaps and bounds better than a Jeep Wrangler. And I've driven in a Jeep Wrangler JK and I've driven in a Wrangler JL, both 4-doors. And this is the Bronco 4-door, as you can see right here behind me. And this thing rides, like I said, just way better, a lot smoother. It's not as top heavy, it's not as rolly as a Jeep. So I definitely appreciate that they did that fully independent front suspension rather than that solid setup that's in the Jeep. But yeah, with that being said, let's move on to powertrain. When talking about the powertrain, this Bronco has the choice of 2 engine options, and no, neither one is a V8. But it's not really a big deal. You have the option between a 2.3 liter 4-cylinder that makes 300 horsepower, or you have the option of the 2.7 liter twin turbo V6 like we have here that makes 330 horsepower and 410 pound-feet of torque that's able to push this car from 0 to 60 in 6.3 seconds. And like I was saying, with the 2.7 liter V6, you cannot get a manual, which is not a huge deal. You do get this great 10-speed transmission that's in this car. You have no manual option again, like I said. But however, if you do want to get the manual transmission, you do have to opt for the 2.3 liter 4-cylinder, which isn't a huge deal. I'm sure it's fast enough. I can't really comment on the speed or the power of that car because I have not driven one. This is the 2.7, like I said. But if you option for the 2.7, you can get 18 miles per gallon city and 20 miles per gallon highway. But if you get the 2.3 liter 4-cylinder, you're gonna get 20 miles per gallon city and 22 miles per gallon highway, which isn't really that bad considering, you know, it's a 4-cylinder that's pushing a pretty decently heavy vehicle. But with the 2.7 liter V6, like I said, you get that 18 miles per gallon city, 20 miles per gallon highway, which is actually pretty good considering the size of this vehicle and that it's on 17-inch wheels wrapped in 35-inch tires. So I'd say that's pretty impressive. And considering it gets a 6.3 second 0 to 60, that's also pretty impressive considering it's basically a brick, you know, going through the air. So it's not the most aerodynamic thing in the world. However, if you take a step back and just take a look at it, man, is it beautiful. And this rapid red just makes it that much more beautiful. This red is an optional color, so you do have to pay extra for this color, but I definitely do think that this is worth it. This is the Wildtrak, and this does have the Sasquatch package. So with the Sasquatch package, you do get these 35-inch wheels and 17-inch tires, as well as you get a upgraded suspension. So I think that's definitely worth it. It gives it a beefier look. Definitely worth the extra charge. But the Wildtrak package does come with, I lower the hood right here, does come with this Wildtrak badging right there on the hood. However, the side graphics is an extra option, so that is an upcharge. I do think it is worth it. I think it looks pretty sweet with that Wildtrak on the side. And man, just take a look at that rapid red color, man. That is just beautiful. Normally this does come with a hard top, however, due to like the shortage of, you know, all the different stuff that's going on here in the car world, this one did come optioned with a soft top. But I do think the soft top is pretty sweet because all you got to do is just throw that soft top back and you got a massive, basically kind of sunroof type thing. If you open the door, you can see in here. I mean, look at that. You can definitely not do that as easy with a hard top, but what's something that's really cool about this car is that this does have frameless doors. So there is no frame for the window. So it does make it a lot easier to store stuff. Like you can store the doors and stuff in the back. And this does have bags that you can put the doors in so they don't get all scratched up. But you can fit all 4 doors in the back here, and you cannot do that on a Jeep Wrangler. The doors do not fit because they are not frameless. These are frameless, so they do fit in the back, which is awesome. I think that these daytime running lights, like you see the little wraparound around the tail light, I think those look very good. Obviously you got a full-size spare and you got your backup camera right there. Coming around to the front, oh, you can see you got a little Bronco badge right there, which is really cool. And just overall, I think this is a way better looking vehicle than the Jeep Wrangler. I mean, just take a look at the lights. You got that cool little daytime running light surround, so that is on while you're driving, and it just says Bronco in the front. You also have these metal this metal front bumper here, as well as your skid plates on the bottom down there. So you can take this thing off-roading basically right out of the dealership. However, if you want to add like options like aftermarket lights and stuff like that, if you come in here and you open the door, you do see that you have, what is that, like you have 6 different options. So you can add 6 different lights. You want to add a winch or anything like that, you have all your auxiliary buttons right up top there, which is great. I love how Ford did that. If you're one of the few people that's actually going to take your Bronco off-road, you do have some pretty beneficial options for off-roading that you can get. You can get electronic locking front and rear diffs, as well as a sway bar disconnect and beadlock wheels with 35-inch tires. And just like the Jeep Wrangler, you can get it with a hard top or a soft top. We got a soft top option here, and you can, like I said earlier in the video, get it with a 2 or 4 door, and you can remove the top completely if it's a nice day, or you can do what I did here today and save myself the hassle and just threw the soft top back. One thing that I haven't talked about yet that's pretty cool, and it's kind of an Easter egg, is that you come around back, you open this right here, and you have this thing right here, and it says accessory ready. So if you're out in the woods and you know you've been on the trails all day and you want to hook up a table maybe to set up some food or some drinks or whatever with your friends and family, whoever you're going out with, you have this thing that says accessory ready, and you can have a table right here and, you know, set up your food station or whatever you want to put right there. And that option is and that table option is somewhere around like 250 bucks that I've been told. But if you open up in here and you look inside, you have this little thing right here, and right there, that is a bottle opener. So let's say you're out and it's been a long day of being on the trail and stuff like that, and you just want to chill out, relax. You got your, who knows, you got a tent set up or something like that, and you want to drink a Corona. All you got to do is open up the back here, and you got a bottle opener right up there, which is pretty freaking cool if you ask me. But you can actually open this up too. So all you got to do is push these 2 buttons right here and lift this up, and you got to set this thing down right here, and now you got more space to get groceries or whatever you want to in and out of the vehicle, so you're not just limited to this little space down here. So you get probably an extra foot-ish of space when you lift that up. And you know, it's easy as this to put it back down. You just go like this, put it here, locks in right there, and it's back down. So that's really nothing. And you do want it to lock, and now it's locked, so that's good. Closing the tailgate here, you do have that little strut bar, and it definitely does save it from, you know, slamming open and stuff like that. So that's really nice. Obviously this is 2021. You got your backup sensors back here. You can see them all throughout the vehicle, and this does have a 360-degree camera, which is awesome, especially if you're out on the trails and, you know, it's starting to get tight. You got that camera to see what's around you, and that's really helpful. Even if you're in a parking lot and you want to park and you're not really confident because you just got a brand new truck, it makes it a lot easier to park with a 360-degree camera. Let's just take another look and just take in what a beautiful vehicle this is. It's so badass. Like, look how muscular it is. It's way better than the Jeep. Like, I'm not a Jeep fan at all, really. I'm not really into off-roading either, but if I were to get an off-roader, I would definitely get something like this. Like, I personally feel like you could definitely daily drive this vehicle. And I can't say it really the same about a Jeep. They're too rolly, they're uncomfortable to sit in, and yeah, they're just a little too bumpy for me. But this is very, very smooth. Definitely nothing to complain about when it comes to suspension or anything like that. But let's get into the vehicle. Obviously, this is basically like a Jeep, so you can take these doors off, which is great, and you can store them in the back like I was talking about. But when you take it off, the mirrors actually stay on because they're bolted to the body of the car, so you don't have to worry about getting an extra accessory like a mirror aftermarket or something like that, because like I said, these are frameless doors, so you can see the door is independent of that mirror. And these are very easy doors to take off. You just got to do a few things like bolts and stuff like that. You can see the 2 bolts and disconnect that right there. They make it easy, which is great. Obviously they know people want to take the doors off and stuff like that, which I would definitely do. But stepping into the vehicle, you can see these nice leather seats. I really like the black on this kind of grayish color. Power seats, forward, backward. Obviously you can recline and stuff, and you got your lumbar functions right there. Right here you've got your puddle lights. So I think that was on just a second ago. You can see it right there. So that's very helpful at night. And obviously right here, these buttons are for your backlit display, and like your buttons like this and stuff like that. Your light adjustments for your headlights and taillights are right here. You got your automatic, your daytime parking lights, and your obviously projector beam headlights. But right here, let's turn her on. You've got that beautiful 12-inch display, just like was in the F-150 review I just did. But let's turn this AC off so I have good noise. But like you can see, 12-inch display, very, very clear, very responsive. This is Sync 4, so you got your navigation, settings, apps. Obviously you got Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, which is awesome. I think this also does have Wi-Fi connectivity, which is great. And like I was saying, this thing does have a 360-degree camera, and you see this little camera button right down here. You push that, it brings up your 360-degree camera, which is awesome. It also has got that front-facing camera that you can see right there. Throw it into reverse, and there's your rear-facing camera. Throw it into drive, and it goes away, but if you want the camera still on, boom. And that's very helpful, obviously, not only when you're parking, but when you're off-road and you want to see what's ahead of you, because you're facing like this and you can't really see over the hood, but you got your camera right there to help you see. I think that's really very helpful. But you got this screen right here that you can navigate with these buttons right here on the screen, and you got all these different options. You got fuel economy, your trip stuff, off-road. Like right now we're in 2-wheel drive. You got your pitch and roll stuff right there. Power distribution, which is pretty cool while you're driving. It also shows like your drivetrain, so you got your transfer case right there in the middle, and you got your drive shaft, so you can kind of see like the powertrain through the screen right here. You can kind of see how it's like one drive shaft, boom, transfer case, boom, drive shaft again, to your rear diff. I think that's pretty cool. But let's put that thing back into park. We'll go into some more things. You can see tire pressure, and then you can just configure the screen and stuff like that, which is pretty cool. Like I said, you got all these different things. You can put your navigation screen up here, just like that. Let's go like previous destinations, boom.
Obey traffic laws, be alert, and use voice commands.
And then you can see driving. It brings up your navigation right there.
Volcano Island
Drive, we're gonna turn that off.
Turn left.
And go down, you got your phone stuff and audio stuff right there, and you can go through here and adjust your settings and stuff like that. But let's go back. You can see you got your fuel gauge right there. So basically the only thing that's analog right here is your analog speedometer, and I think that's pretty cool. They did that kind of as a throwback and an homage to the old Bronco, and I think that's awesome. I do like the font that they use, the 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120. So that's pretty cool. But I do like how you do have this little screen, and it's pretty configurable. And over in here, you open this up, got a good sized glove box for whatever you want to put in there. You got that right here. You've got your USB port and USB-C port, so they give you the option of both. And because you can take the doors off of this vehicle, you do have your window switch stuff right here, all automatic up, down, forward, or front and back, which is great. Obviously also your mirror adjustment is right here, but which is awesome is that you've got this little knob right here, and you can put it into 4 low, 4 high, or 4 automatic. And then this button right here in the middle helps you go into your different drive modes and stuff like that, and that's more of an off-road button. This is basically your off-road switch right here. So yeah, and just like in the F-150, this is very reminiscent to the F-150 that I just did a review on. Like right here, I'll turn the AC back on, and you can see that it's very what's the word, you can see the temperature right here as well as on screen, which is awesome. I'm gonna turn that back off because of the noise. Close the door right here. And up here you have your locking differentials and stuff like that, and this is going to help you when you're out off-roading and you're trying to get around a tight hairpin turn. You're basically going to do a 360-degree turn. This turns the power onto the wheel that you want to have the most power, so it basically turns you on a dime. Traction control off, and obviously your hazard button right there. But yeah, obviously you've got these poop handles right here, and right there, and these are interchangeable, so you don't like that little blue strip, you can change the color right there. It's not really a big deal. So Ford wants to make this very customizable car, just kind of like the Jeep. You know, the people who are going to buy these are going to want to customize them and make them even cooler than they already are. So that is why they do that kind of stuff. But if you look throughout the vehicle, you can see like there's all these cool little badges and stuff. There's like little Broncos all throughout the car. Like you can see, there's one right there. It says Bronco right there. And something that's cool is it's got this little mount right here. So if you want to put a GoPro when you're on the trail, boom, it's already there, and it's ready for you to set up a GoPro right there, which is awesome. And there's also this little like track back through here where you can just set your phone down right there and not have to worry about it falling out and stuff like that. There are some options that this car does not have. This car does not have the Bang & Olufsen sound system, no adaptive cruise, and there's no heated steering wheel on this. This does have the high package. It does not have the Luxe package. So if you want the Luxe package, you're going to get the heated steering wheel and the adaptive cruise control and stuff like that, and the Bang & Olufsen sound system, like I was just saying. But when you open this, you got a pretty decent size storage area right through here, and I'm not really sure what you would put in there, but and nonetheless it is there. You got your cigarette outlet right there for plugging in a 12-volt charger or whatever you're going to put there. And if you want to switch between gears manually, one thing that's really awesome, you see that little American flag? That's really cool. This is American made. One thing that's really cool is that you do have the option of switching gears manually right here, so that's pretty cool. Your emergency brake switch is right here, so just pull that. You got an electric emergency brake. The car's gonna yap at me for a little bit, so let's turn her off. Setting into the back seats, I got to move my backpack right there, but let's hop up in. And these seats are definitely a lot more comfortable than Jeep seats. These seats are reclined just enough to where it's actually comfortable, and you do have this centerfold armrest with 2 cup holders right here, as well as over here. You do have your window switches, as well as a USB and USB-C port, followed by like a home outlet right there, which is awesome. You do also have these really nice finishes. You got the little leather right here, as well as this nice aluminum trim right there. And I think everything is put together very well. Definitely a lot less plasticky than what you would find in, say, something like a Jeep. And I know it sounds like I'm hating on Jeeps, but I'm really not. I just think that they kind of ride like junk, and you know, they need to step up their interior game. I know they updated them in 2018, but I think they need a little more updating. But this does have keyless access, so if you want to get in your car and the car is locked, just put your hand behind here, like you can see, it unlocks, and boom, you're in your trunk. But you want to lock the car, all you got to do is push that little button right there, and boom, it's locked. So I know we've talked about the interior, and I know we've talked a little bit about the exterior and stuff like that. We talked about the suspension, the wheels, and the tires and stuff like that. But I kind of want to do this video a little differently than I usually do videos. And I want to do more of a driving impression of this car, because I'm sure a lot of people who are looking to get one of these cars want to know really how it drives. Because, you know, the reality is most of the people buying the Bronco are probably not going to be off-roading that hard. They're probably going to maybe go off-roading once or twice a year, if that. So I really want to do a test on the road and really just see how it performs, how it handles and stuff in daily driving situations, because I'm sure these are going to be daily drivers. So with that said, we're going to do a little driving portion of the video. I'll bring you guys in the car with me. But one thing I did want to mention before we get into the car is that this thing breaks necks. Like, I've been driving it. I drove it from the dealership to over here, which is about a 15-minute ride. And one thing I did notice is that people were breaking their necks to look at this car. And maybe because it's red and blah, blah, blah. But I also think that it's just a very good-looking vehicle. And that's coming from me. I'm not a huge off-roading fan. But I do think that this thing is very good looking, and I think that people think that this thing is very good looking as well. But with that said, we've talked about the exterior, the interior, and now let's see how this thing drives. I'll see you guys in the driver's seat. And now on to my favorite part of each and every review that I do, and that is the driving portion of the review. And like I was saying in the F-150 video, this is basically the same screen. This is also Sync 4. And the screen, the graphics on the screen are just very, very, very good. And I don't say that lightly. It's kind of like an iPad is what it reminds me of. And it's very responsive as well. Like, you click something, there's no lag or anything like that, which is great. I really enjoy that. But one thing that this car also does have is blind spot monitoring, and it is in those mirrors that are mounted to the body, like I was saying. So when you remove the doors, the mirrors ain't going anywhere. You don't gotta buy any other mirrors or anything like that. But man, what a beautiful day. It's sunny and 84 degrees. I got the top down. If I roll the windows down, the audio might get a little messed up, so that's why the windows aren't down. But if I was driving this and I wasn't doing a video right now, I would 100% have the windows down. And if this was my car, probably take the doors off too. But it's not, so we are gonna leave the doors on and the windows up just for now. But like I've mentioned probably 3 or 4 times by now, I'm not huge into off-road vehicles or off-roading in general, but I definitely probably would buy this car. This thing is just badass. I really enjoy it. I'm having actually a lot of fun driving it. And you know, I do these reviews and I can't really say I've been excited for a review like I was excited for doing this review today. This thing is just awesome. And you know, I would say that I'm biased, but I'm really not. Like, I'm not like huge Ford fan. I'm not a huge Dodge fan. I would say I'm more of a Chevy fan, but Chevy, you know, Chevy's kind of been letting us down recently. They got no competitor really to the TRX. I know Ford's coming out with the Raptor R, which is awesome. I'm really looking forward to that. But you know, there's no Blazer. The Blazer is just, the Blazer's an SUV. Like, what the heck Chevy? So I'm definitely not biased to Ford by any means, but man, I really, really love this vehicle. And I just saw a Jeep drive by. It was lifted and it's got some tires, and it just doesn't really do anything for me. Now this thing does. Like, I really enjoy, and I don't really like red cars, so I'm really not saying any of this stuff lightly. I've really enjoyed driving this vehicle, and let's see kind of what the performance is like right now. Bro. So, not the fastest thing in the world, but definitely nothing to complain about. I think that's actually very good. Way faster than a Jeep. Jeeps are actually pretty slow. But the reality is, you don't really need something fast that you're going to be taking off-road. All you really need is that low-end torque, and this thing's got over 400 pound-feet of torque. So, definitely got you enough power to get over rocks and stuff like that. But, with that being said, we talked about the interior, the exterior, and the way that this thing drives, and just my driving impressions in general. And I'm telling you, I'm a huge fan. If you're on the fence about getting a Bronco, just do it. You only live once. This vehicle right here as it sits, this is a Wildtrak. This thing is $56,000, $56,840 to be exact. And like I said, this is a Wildtrak, and it does have the Sasquatch package as well as the high package, which is the tech pack. It does not have, like I said, the heated steering wheel or the adaptive cruise or anything like that, or the Bang & Olufsen. But you know, do you really need that? Yeah, maybe I would like the Bang & Olufsen, but you know, it's got really everything else that you need. So like I said, I'm a huge fan of this car. I don't really like off-roaders, but I actually really did enjoy my time in this vehicle. But with that being said, please, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up, as well as hit that subscribe button. I'm trying to hit 1,000 subscribers sometime soon. The more subscribers and the more views that I have, the more videos that I can make. You know, I try to approach these dealerships. Some say yes, some say no. Koons Sterling Ford was nice enough to let me take this car as well as that F-150 out. So please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and follow me on Instagram. It's at 703speed. And I'll see you guys in the next review. Peace.